back to EO.
Where we review gadgets for our pleasure and your gain. I'm Chris Index.
And I'm Jonathan Pixel.
And today we've actually got the Galaxy Note 2 from AT&T. And it's a large phone.
So the Note 2 is a 5.5-inch screen,
That's
the
right.
largest phone on the market.
And its predecessor, the Note 1, actually had 5.3. So it's a size up from that even. But you know, really, when I was using it last week, it didn't really bother me. I thought it still fit fine to the face.
You
think
actually would bash the Note because of how large it was.
Yeah,
and now
originally, I was like, no phone needs to be that large. And actually carrying it, it fit in my pocket. As far as, like you think of the size of like a home phone, it actually is a large enough size that, it fits to your face fine.
It fit the face fine, but the microphone's only, or the speaker's that large.
Yeah.
And I would have maybe I was like right here on the phone, but I couldn't hear it very well, so I had to like move it right back to the center of the phone. So that was.
So you felt it was a little bit too large in your case?
It felt a little large for that point, yeah.
Now, if you're a girl, it probably won't fit in their
it
pockets.
Will not fit in
if you
pockets.
put a beefy case on it, you're going to have some issues too. But, if they got a purse, then, maybe
yeah,
it is something for them.
Because I actually like to have my phone on my side, my belt.
Yeah.
But if I had this, it's just like a giant brick just kind of waving around on my,
yeah.
It's a bit large for that. So this is actually the descendant of the Note 1, in which case the screen resolution has gone down a little bit because they've kind of more.
Yeah, they changed the aspect ratio. They brought the width down from 800 to 720. It's a normal format. So there's actually a decrease in pixels overall. But,
sure. But it's still a very vibrant screen.
It's a smaller DPI, but it's only because they expanded it. So you're really getting the same resolution. You're still getting that HD.
Sure. It does come with the 1.6 gigahertz quad processor, opposed to the 1.4 gigahertz dual processor.
Yeah, and the S3, it sits right in the middle of that. It's a 1.4 quad core.
Yeah.
So you've really got 3 little increments of the type of processing power.
They both have 2 gigabytes of RAM, and they both also have an internal storage that is expandable up to 32 gigabytes.
Yeah, an additional 32 gigabytes with a micro SD card.
Sure. And they both come with TouchWiz, which has been greatly improved since when it first came out.
Yeah, so the Note 1 will be running the previous version, and like we said in our first episode, TouchWiz really made an improvement, and you're going to get the exact same TouchWiz you had on the S3 with the Note 2.
Sure. And the battery life has also increased with the Note 2. So it's 3,100 milliamps. So opposed to the 25.
Yeah, I mean it's a really large phone, so you can put a lot bigger battery in it. So that's exactly what they did.
And the nice feature about Samsung that's kind of kept this with all their phones is you can actually remove the battery from these and replace it if you have to.
Yeah, most smartphones, you can remove with a few exceptions, like the Droid from
the
Motorola.
Apple.
And of course, Apple phones.
So, I'm glad because you like to switch out your batteries a lot.
Yeah, I do.
So
I switch out. I have a battery with a charger, so I normally switch that out instead of just charging it.
One of the unique features about the Note 2 is the stylus that it comes with, and I know that you particularly like to use it.
I thought it was truly unique with this phone. And what's really cool is as soon as you immediately take it out, there's a little vibration and some haptic feedback letting you know that it's out and it's registered and it's active. Additionally, it's got the same type of technology that's in Wacom tablets that when you hover above the screen, you can't see it, but there's a little circle telling you where your cursor is without you actually touching the screen. That way you can really tell where you're clicking. This specifically works with technology on the phone. It's not a touch capacitive sensor.
That's true.
So this stylus isn't going to work with another phone.
And it's not. You can't also use a phone like any other pen or device. You have to use that stylus.
Yes. So don't lose it.
Yeah.
But what I really liked the most about using it was taking handwritten notes. And I'm going to demo that for you. So built into the keyboard is a mode for you to type. So. And it's really good at picking up
It didn't
my
pick
header.
up the end, though, of my name.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty good.
So, there we've actually got a few typos, but if you see the line above it, I just typed that before we started filming today. And it's really intuitive, and then on top of it, you've got all the spelling corrections that you would have in your normal keyboard if you make a mistake. But, I've had people who have awful handwriting, and it can still pick up their handwriting really easily.
Sure. And if you don't want to use that, the actual internal, voice speech to text actually is really good with that.
Just like we saw with the S3, it's the exact same keyboard. So some of the predictive text, with the built-in swiping ability isn't that great, and that didn't even register. Predictive. So that's an excellent example of the failures of this keyboard with the built-in swiping technology. But besides that, just like the S3, I mean, you've got other keyboards. You've got actual swipe. That's actually built in. And that's where I go to. So I type predictive, and it's there.
Maybe it's just a different dictionary. That's all.
But just like every other similar phone, it has the Google Voice typing. Welcome to EO, where we review gadgets for our pleasure and your gain. Yeah. So if you're seeing this live, it should be typing it pretty well. And when I'm done, it might prompt me for some words that it's a little bit confused about. And it's performing pretty badly right now. So this feature. Take my word for it. It works great.
Yeah. I don't condone driving and texting, but with a larger screen, you can't do it. It's just impossible. You can't reach it. You can't stop driving to see what you're doing.
Yeah.
So don't try driving and texting with this. Don't try driving and texting at all. But
don't.
When using the Note, I've gotten emails before, and they have links to something. The nice feature is if you have something to link to, something online or a YouTube video, you click on it, it has a pop-up browser. So I can actually go and go to the email, wherever I have it. And yeah. It's nice because I can go to the pop-up browser here.
Yeah.
And I can move it around, and I can still use, well, I used to be able to still use the background. Yeah. So I can still do the other stuff while this is going on.
Yeah, and so you might see a similarity with this feature with the actual pop-out video that's in the S3 and the Note device. And we've got the same video app, so that same pop-out video is there. And so they pretty much just adapt that to a web browser. Sure. I really like it when browsers prompt me to put in a password quickly while I'm using an app. So I can quickly put in my password, then exit out, and it goes immediately away. And additionally, this type of multitasking is really the Note 2's biggest feature. And with the update to 4.1.2 comes the actual multitasking update. For AT&T, this phone doesn't have the update push to it, so we can't really show it for you guys. But you can run 2 apps side by side. Most Google apps are supported, and all the Samsung native apps. And then as third-party developers do develop apps for it, that will be available. But it won't work with every app.
Sure. Now, one of the last features I want to kind of talk about is using it for games and emulators, which you were
I really enjoy pulling up a Nintendo 64 emulator on phones to really benchmark it and see how well it runs. I had no problems. I was playing Scooby-Doo for the SNES the other day, really difficult game. But what's really nice about having large screens with these emulators, all the controls are on screen. So they're all like compounded together, on the screen. So it's really tight, or you don't have an actual controller, so you're gonna be a little awkward pressing certain buttons. But having this larger screen actually really helps, so you can see the picture and play the game with a lot better comfort.
Which is nice, because I mean it's more like an old game controller.
Yeah, I think the SNES controller might be about this size, to be completely honest.
Yeah. Why should we buy the Note 2 opposed to the Note 1 or even the Galaxy S3?
Well, it depends on what you're looking for. If you're someone who doesn't need this bigger phone, because certainly not everyone does, then the S3 is good. If you don't need that much computing power, then you can go with the S3 variant. That's the Atrium, which is a simple down version. We mentioned that before. Then the Note 2 just recently took a price drop because of Mobile World Congress, where Samsung announced the Note 8.0, which is more of a tablet-branded Note.
Yeah.
There's been rumors of a Note 3 also for World Mobile Congress, but that wasn't announced, so it's yet to see if that's actually going to be a device.
And if it does become a device, it will be coming out with a 6.3-inch screen.
Yeah, that's the rumor. That's a monster.
That's a large.
That truly is becoming a phablet at that point.
Yeah.
Depending on who you ask, even a phone like this is considered a phablet, which is a phone, tablet, impromptu. If you're going to buy a device, the Note 1's probably cheap enough. There's a little bit of improvement, but really there's not too much different besides the actual operating system. So that alone might be a reason for you to stay away from the Note 1. The Note 2 just took a price drop, so maybe that's your choice. The S3 always has deals. It's the most popular phone for Samsung, for Android, and depending on the quarter, for anyone buying a phone.
Sure.
So it really just comes down to what you need it for.
Well, that's what we have for this week. Next week, we will have the Fitbit One and a Fitbit scale.
Yeah, we're going to try to get a scale with it so we can weigh ourselves. The Fitbit One, it's a pedometer. It tracks your activity. And we're going to see how much exercising we're going to do over spring break.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thanks for watching. So in the news, there's there's a little bit going on. Polaroid is making a camera for Instagram that prints instantly, like the like the old Polaroids.
Oh.
So it's the instant camera. You take a picture, maybe you apply filters on it right away, and it spits out your image right on the spot.
So how big is this camera going to be?
Yeah, I mean, it seems like it's like a nice. It's the Instagram camera,
Well, I
So-
guess it has to be at least the largest Polaroid camera.
I'm not too sure, but we've got a soccer ball that you kick around that powers a lamp. So
What?
yeah, it's soccer ball. You kick it around, and the dynamo powers can charge like a light for like 3 hours after 30 minutes of play.
So it just charges something. That's all.
Yeah, the physical action of playing games. We've got the Ouya Android gaming console. It's going to start shipping. It was a Kickstarter project, and it's this little box that's a gaming console for Android, and it even comes with its own controller.
You were talking about the soccer ball. You also got the basketball now that has built-in Bluetooth.
Yeah,
so it
I don't have
your-
that story saved, but yeah, it tracks your shots.
Which,
I mean, I guess
Yeah,
some people were like, but it's regulation. It's got the right weight. It's got the right size.
and then also you have the
Galaxy camera.
Galaxy camera.
Yeah, that you can get with a mobile plan if you want
What was that?
4G with your camera. That was announced a while ago. We've also got my Leap controller, which was delayed until May. So you guys will have to wait till May to see that.
Yep. Cool. See you later.